As we all know, Fridays are typically a very slow news day. In the news cycles, they say Friday is where news goes to die. But this Friday, August 9th, was a little bit of a different story because we had D23, which tens of people were looking forward to. In all seriousness, it was a reportedly sold out event, and they didn't do any streaming online for it. Now, this happened approximately 9 p.m. California time. And then about 2 hours later, they just dumped all of the trailers online that they showed at D23. So I figured we'd just go through, we'll take a look at a couple of them, and then there's two of them that I really just kind of want to touch on with you guys for a minute. So let's go ahead and get into it. From The Verge, D23 2024, all the biggest trailers and news out of Disney's biennial showcase. Disney's biennial D23 showcase of its upcoming projects is back, and with so many Marvel and Star Wars projects in the pipeline, it feels like the studio will have a lot to show off over the weekend. They won't. Out of the in-person Anaheim event, we are expecting trailers and announcements about new shows and movies destined to make their way to theaters and Disney Plus in the not-too-distant future. Now, some of those will, but the question is, will they be good? And based on what we're seeing so far, I have my doubts. One of the more promising parts of the expo is happening online, where you can watch it unfold up close if you have a Fortnite account, which... Listen, I get it, Fortnite's big, but to tie things into accounts with other services, are we not seeing how that's a bad idea in this industry yet? Especially tying into a video game. Like, we saw Helldivers try to tie accounts. That didn't go over well for them. We've seen Gilded try to tie their service into Roblox accounts, I believe, and they lost massive usership whenever they did that. But hey, you know, if Disney learns at all, they're going to learn really slow. While we're expecting most of the big Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar news during Friday's massive Disney Entertainment Showcase, which we got, the studio is also focusing on Marvel's upcoming animated projects, with a panel on Saturday afternoon. It's likely that we'll hear updates about X-Men 97, the final season of What If, Eyes of Wakanda, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and Marvel Zombies, which, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not super interested in any of this stuff, but hey, we're covering what we can here. Let's go ahead and jump down a little bit, because some of this stuff was posted today. These are some of the stuff that they showed off last night. So we got Toy Story 5, which, why? I don't understand why they keep milking things. Oh, yeah, that's right. That it made $1 billion. Okay, gotcha. Then we get Lilo and Stitch. That they're saying a live action Lilo and Stitch is coming. But let's be honest, it's not live action. It's going to be CG with live action elements. And they have this thing where they like to call these things live action just because it's not animated in the classical sense of the term, but it's not the same thing. We get Snow White, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Agatha All Along. Now this one, I watched this trailer, and honestly, all it makes me think of is Multiverse of Witches. It's like they pulled in witches from all over the place. Let's
Agatha.
We're gonna mute that. See if we we'll scrub through here real quick, because there's a certain part. What about here, I think? There we go. Who's that? Who does that look like to you? Because to me, that looks like the Wicked Witch of the West. And who's that? Who's this Ice Queen? Who's this nun back here? Do those... I mean, sure, Ice Queen maybe for Disney, but then what's this exorcist-looking chick? Like, not her. This one. This exorcist kind of thing they have going on in here. This whole movie seems like it's going to play up to be Multiverse of Witches, and that they're going to try to pull in as much as they possibly could. That looked like Little Red Riding Hood. I don't know what's going on with this. let's be honest, nobody's excited about this. All right, some people are going to watch it. I might end up watching some of it if I can stomach it, but I don't think it's not made for me. The girl power, the witches are the good guys thing, like, it's not. I'll be interested to see kind of where they take it, just in the sense of how much could it be roasted and how much can we laugh at it. That's all I really care about with that. Then we'll continue down here. We got Frozen 3, which, again, another movie not made for me. Incredibles 3, they should have stopped at 2, because I don't know anything about this yet, but, maybe we'll look into it as some more news kind of comes out. But as far as right now goes, I don't think anybody asked for it. Here's a shot from the Toy Story 5 that's saying that modern electronics like tablets are going to be hot new toys in Toy Story 5, which now seems to be coming out in 2026. So it's going to be the toys versus the electronics. Okay, whatever. Here's one that does actually pique my interest a little bit. Elio? So this is the only reason this piques my interest really at all is because we're finally seeing a new IP. It's something that sure nobody asked for, but it might be something that could turn out to be good. Now, I wouldn't get my hopes up, but I like whenever we're seeing new things instead of sequel, prequel. All of these IPs just being used over and over again because previously they had hit $1 billion. I want to see new things coming out of all of our entertainment, not just rehashings. But that's generally what we're getting. So anytime I see something that's a new IP that just has any potential, I really think that there's something there, and that's something that we should watch and maybe try to keep an eye on, because who knows, maybe we have a new gem come out that's not just crammed with the message and all of the stuff that they're trying to cram down on every aspect of our life. Unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll wait, we'll see, we'll figure it out. Dream Productions. So this is one that it takes place in the world of Inside Out, and it's about a production company that makes the dreams that happen during night, which, okay, interesting, but again, you're riding off of a former IP, so, hopes aren't high. Avatar Fire and Ash, third Avatar movie. I didn't see the second one. The first one was a visual extravaganza whenever it came out back in, 2009 or whatever it was. But after that, I kind of lost interest because it was just blue Pocahontas aliens. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. I just wasn't compelled enough to go bother to see 2. Then we have Moana 2. Again, I'm not the target audience for that. Who knows? Maybe some people will like it. Hopefully they do a good job with it. I hope that people get enjoyment out of it. But I'm not going to hold my breath. We got the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy a trailer, which, okay, maybe there's something there. And a bunch of other stuff that, frankly, I don't really care about. So here, I pulled up the D23 showcase, just kind of what they're showing us for some of the stuff, because some of the stuff wasn't mentioned in that previous article yet. So they opened up with a performance from We're Back from Moana 2. And look, it's Disney's target audience enjoying the show. Look at that. Yeah, Disney's target audience right here on the front row for Moana, I guess. Moving on, Dwayne Johnson showed up, and they did some stuff. Zoe Saldana, who appears to be in several Disney things that are coming up soon, which, fine, great for her. She's an excellent actress. Let's see, we got Inside Out 2, the Dream Productions stuff. Then we have this one, Win or Lose, which I guess is another original series that's coming up. It's Pixar's first original series, but it's not because Disney has acquired Pixar, so we kind of know how the story writing's probably going to go there. Toy Story 5, Hoppers. I didn't see a ton on this one. Be interested to look into it though, because it is an all-new original film. So maybe we'll see something out of that. Don't know. There's the Elio Zootopia 2, another sequel nobody asked for, but why? Zootopia made over $1 billion. Okay, that's why. They introduced a character and one of the actors. Frozen 3, Skeleton Crew. The new Star Wars. Listen, it's okay if you like where Star Wars has gone, but watching the trailer for Skeleton Crew, it doesn't look like Star Wars. It looks like they took a bunch of Star Wars characters and crammed them into some space suburbs or something. I don't know. It's very strange. Then we had the Marvel panel for Brave New World, Fantastic Four, Ironheart, which nobody is going to remember who she is by the time that movie comes out. Daredevil, Born Again, where apparently Daredevil and Kingpin are working together for something. I don't know. My interest is not piqued in any of this stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. But what did pique my interest slightly is the Snow White trailer. So let's take a look at it and see what we think. Look at that haircut. That classic Snow White. Classic Snow White haircut. Alright, and we get the animals coming into the abandoned cabin. Oh, now remember this. Remember, whenever they first showed this to us and we got some test screening footage, they were no longer the 7 dwarves. It was going to be Snow White and the 7 bandits, right? We were going to have bandits be her companions. So I wonder what the bandits look like. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, what kind of...
So while you work...
Do those look like bandits to you? Because remember, they told us that was... Oh no, those were just test actors to test the footage. Those are CG dwarves. This is Disney live action, ladies and gentlemen. It is all computer generated if they can get away with it. Now, I, for one, think that what they did was retcon what they were planning on doing, and they decided to go back and just CG in the dwarves. That way they didn't have to find actors to play the dwarves and do tons of reshoots. They could just make the entire thing a CGI mess. Because this looks awful. The dress on her was super unflattering. The haircut looks terrible. Gal looks pretty good.
Mirror on the wall.
She looks alright, I guess. I mean, it's all just... It's bad. It's so bad, to be honest. Like, look at it. Everything looks terrible. Even the apple looked like CG. Like, you can't tell me this is just... Sure, maybe it's just a lighting trick, but, I mean, look at it. This all looks terrible. But this is what we're getting for Snow White. This is what Disney is churning out to us, and you will eat the slop. Yeah, that's what we get. Look at some of the reactions here. Be careful scrolling. I'm rooting for the evil queen. Looks good, but terrible Snow White choice. It doesn't look good. It doesn't, Rambosi. I don't know what you're talking about. It looks awful. Do you really expect me to believe that the queen is the second most beautiful of all? Huh. Yikes. This looks good to me. At the same time, as a Disney fan, it is hard for me not to think about how the main actress hates her own role. She really did shit all over her own payday. She absolutely did. And it's because you'll notice in this trailer that we watched, we didn't really see any of the stuff that whenever they were on their media tour that they were telling us, right? Where they were like, oh, this is a girl power movie. It's not about her falling in love with the prince. We heard and saw all of this stuff, and they didn't decide to put any of that into this trailer that they showed us. What does that tell you? Does that tell you they reshot, or does that tell you that they're trying to backpedal and at least get some people back in the theaters? Because that's what it tells me. Then another one we have here, which again, Disney CGI Studios presents The Lion King.
It's time I tell you a story.
Okay, so we see Timon and Pumbaa here, which
The
indicates
story
that
of a cub.
what it is that we're looking at right here. We're looking at Rafiki talking to Simba. So this is going to be Rafiki telling a story to Simba about Mufasa. And Scar finding him and helping get adopted into his family. And, you know, there's lots of musical numbers. It's Lion King, you expect it. But I think that they did a better job this time, at least based on this trailer, of making the lions seem a tiny bit more expressive than they did in the first one. Now, disclosure, I did not see the first Lion King quote-unquote live action because I was not interested whatsoever. Like I said, you see better facial expressions, it seems like, on this one. But overall, it just looks fake and awful to me. I don't want this. I don't know who wants this. If you want this, good for you. But it really feels like they're trying to set it up to where Mufasa was the bad guy the entire time. Because Scar, they've got this whole brother story, right?
We must fight together.
We must fight together. We're brothers. Mufasa's been adopted. But we all know how the story ends between Mufasa and Scar. And we know how the story ends. We know that Mufasa ends up taking the crown, or mane, or whatever, and that Scar ends up being the bad guy. They're setting him up to be the sympathetic baddie, and, you know, that's what they're gonna do. So, I don't know. Not looking forward to it. I probably won't see it, but, you know, hopefully if you are looking forward to it, hopefully it's something you enjoy. Because honestly, like, I just want people to enjoy things. But I'm going to talk about the things that I do and don't enjoy. If we look down here a little bit, the Panther and Leopard community are pissed about the lack of representation, recast. I hope James Earl Jones reprises his voice. Animation, Arrow was better. Long live the king. Whoop. Yep. Appropriate. Completely appropriate. And then, yeah, there we go. Posters. So, that's what we've got for now. Listen, it doesn't look like a super positive D23 to me, but I'm also not interested in any of the Disney stuff that's coming out for the most part. Like I said, maybe as stuff kind of rolls out over the weekend, I'll stop, try to make some videos and kind of look at a couple other things. But as far as what we've seen so far, Snow White and Mufasa, I'm not thinking it's looking good. We'll see. I am Hayden75. Thank you guys for coming out, checking out the video. Be sure and like the video. Comment down below. Tell me if there is anything that you've seen that you are looking forward to and that maybe I should look into. Because maybe I just overlooked something and that there's going to be something better coming out of it. Just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the video as well. We are here. We are pushing back against all of this stuff that we don't like. And I want to know what you guys have to think. I'll see you in the next one.